Welcome back to Classic Firearms. I'm Brandon, and this is the Arex Delta M Gen 2 specifically. It is a Slovenian pistol with a lot of features that come right out of the box, and of course, a nice hardshell case that we'll get to in just a few. In this review, we're going to go over the tech specs specifically, then verify some of those like weight, trigger pull, and overall length and height, and then we're going to talk about all the specs that the pistol comes with as far as what you see right in front of you. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right on in to the specs themselves. So this is a striker-fired pistol with two magazines. You have a 15-round magazine and a 17-round magazine in the box. The barrel length on this is 4 inches. Overall length is 7.24 inches and is 1.18 inches thick, which is actually pretty stinking thin, especially considering the size of the pistol. Now, this particular one, they give us the weight without a mag and with a mag. And the weight without a mag is 19.1 ounces. With the mag is 21.6. And of course, this shoots 9mm. So, without further ado, let's talk about tip to butt what you actually get. So right up front, you can see that the barrel does protrude out just a little bit from the slide, and then up top you have a singular white dot front sight. You do get some angular cuts on the front, the top of the slide, and the bottom of the slide where the Picatinny rail meets up. And you get some very nice slide serrations. They allow you, of course, to rack that gun in any which way that you deem necessary. You also have, as you head on back, rear slide serrations and blacked out rears. A lot of people like those. It makes it easier to acquire your target quickly downrange. Gotta like that. Now, as we head on down to the polymer portion of the pistol, you can see that we do have a 3 crossbar slot Picatinny rail with a grooves up front on the trigger guard and on the bottom. Now, that'll allow you to hold it in any which way that you like to hold it. There's no right or wrong way. People will argue that online. Whatever works best for you, you do get those options, which are nice. You have a slight undercut under that trigger guard as well, which I very much so appreciate. That is quite nice. Allows you to get really high up on the pistol to help with more accurate shots, especially follow-up shots. Now, let's go ahead and talk about that trigger pull. Now, we do clear that chamber before we ever start any video here at Classic, so it's always clear, but it is good to double check. Now, you do have it looks like a trigger safety right here, the little fin, and then you start pulling it back, so that's the first portion of take-up, if you can consider that take-up, and then you get to that wall right about at that, just past that 90-degree mark, and then bang. It is a very crisp trigger. The reset on it, right on out, and then a little bit of pull again. So it's very reminiscent what I would consider probably more like a duty trigger. So it feels like around 5 pounds, roughly. And we'll verify that a little bit later. All right, moving on. You do also have ambi slide releases. So ambidextrous, ambi, however you want to say that. So you can actuate it from either side of the pistol, which is nice. So for lefties, you do have some functionality there. You also have ambi magazine release. So I can actuate it from here. Just show you my hands so you can see them. One side, and then you can see I'm not pushing it from that side. 2 sides, which is actually pretty nice. This is a completely ambi pistol, which is something that you can't say about all of them. Before we get too far past this feature, I wanted to point it out. They did paint the rear of the firing pin, so that way whenever you are ready to fire, it'll show red, and then when you pull that trigger, bang, it's gone, and it will show, of course, that you'll hear a boom, so you won't show you anything, but you get my point. The grip texturing on this is very good as well. So you have up top, like very high on the polymer portion of the pistol, you actually have a grip texture. Now, that is quite nice for getting really solid grip on it. A lot of pistols come up to about here, and then they leave it smooth up there. Some people prefer it, some people don't. That's up to you. But I personally do like it. That's my opinion. You continue that grip texturing down below on both sides of the grip and then on the front and the back. It is the same aggressiveness, I'm just double checking, on all sides of that grip. So it is very grippy overall. I would consider it a moderately aggressive grip. And one final note about that grip is the back strap is interchangeable, and they do come with other back straps in the box. We'll get to that in a minute. Magazine is made out of metal, which is always good to see, a little more durable. And the mag well is slightly flared, ever so slightly. It's not overly flared to where it's gonna get in the way, but it will assist you just slightly if you're not perfect with that reload every single time. So now let's move on to verifying features about the pistol. Let's start off with the overall length and height, because that's something that they listed out so eloquently on the website. So let's find out some information about that. First things first, let's grab a little pistol holder so you guys can see it a little bit better. And then we are going to measure it. I'll go do it right here first so I can see it. Looks like about 7 inches right there, which lines up with their 7.24. My guess is that's right where that beaver tail is. Yeah, well, the grip looks like it may extend just a little bit back. I'm counting 7 inches, not quite 7.24, so you're getting a little bit shorter than you might expect. Moving on. Your height, let's see, right at 4.5 inches. I'll show you guys that. You can see it right there, right at 4.5 inches. Now they do say 4.7. I'm assuming that's with the mag in it and or with the extended mag, and we'll get to that in a second. So let's just verify the first mag. Let's see. Yep, there it is. That is indeed with the mag in it. Now finally, let's go ahead and talk about that width, because they do claim it at 1.14 inches, and it is, let's show you guys that a little bit better, exactly that. I mean, it's just a little over 1 inch thick, which is quite nice. So it'll be your choice whether or not you want to carry it inside the waistband. Outside the waistband, you do get kind of a versatile little pistol here that can be used for both. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the weight. I'll be right back. All right, scales on the table. Now they do claim without a mag, it is 19.1 ounces. I have that pulled up so that way I can verify that information. So we're going to go ahead and look at that right now. We are looking at 1.19 pounds. And little quick conversion, that's exactly what you get. So they are right on the money with that 19.1 ounces. Now with that mag, they do claim 21.6 ounces. So let's go ahead and see. We are looking at 1.36 pounds. Now that comes out to 21.7 ounces. So it's, I mean, you're talking just a little bit more than they may have quoted right out of the box. Either way, they are pretty on it, and I love that. So let's get the scale off the table, and then we're gonna verify trigger pull next. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk trigger pull. I'm gonna brace it with my hand, pushing it down on the table, and then I'm going to pull backwards with the trigger pull gauge in 3, 2, right at 4.14 pounds. So that's of pressure. So that's pretty close to what I was thinking. We're gonna try it one more time in 3, 2, come on. 5.07 pounds. I did hear like I caught that fin. It didn't quite pull the trigger safety back right. So I'm gonna try it one more time. At least that's my suspicion. In 3, 2, push that down and pull. 4.6 pounds. It did wobble a little bit on the trigger, but we can consistently say we're getting right around that 4 to 5 pound mark with that particular trigger pull. So all in all, very good trigger pull and very good stats on this pistol. It does claim true to pretty much what you're expecting and what you see online. So now let's talk about what you're actually getting in the box. Because you do get a nice hard shell case that you can lock. There's actually a little bit of a lock portion here. So if you have little ones at home and you want to keep them from getting it and don't have a safe right away, always recommend keeping your firearms in a safe place, particularly in a safe if you have one. You can lock this. So in the box, you do get that 17 rounder. Now, it is a little bit, of course, extended base plate here. So you will see it extended out from the pistol when you use that. And it feels good right in the hand. I'm not used to using my index finger to release the pistol mag, but all in all, very nice to include an extended one right out of the box. You do also get a cleaning kit in the box. So you screw in your little poles right here, and then you can actually work on cleaning your pistol. Now, there are different sizes of that, so they didn't grab the right one there right away. However, moving on, you do get additional back straps in the box. So with that, you actually, this will help increase the distance between the back strap portion and, of course, where your middle finger goes. It gives you, if you have bigger hands, longer fingers, that's gonna be more comfortable. But if you don't like that, you can keep the ones on there, or you can go with something that gives you a little bit more of a hump in the back compared to the one that comes on there. And then finally, one that also decreases that just slightly. So this one's almost completely straight back. Let me see if I can get you a better angle of that. whereas this one comes out in flares. So you do get a lot of good options in the box to make it comfortable in your hand. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you have any experiences with the Arex Delta M Gen 2 specifically, please let us know down in the comments below. We would love to see your review, and we'll also answer some questions if you guys have any. I'll be down there as much as I possibly can, as well as so will customer service teams. That's all I have for you guys today. God bless, stay safe. It is time to end. Now, I want to go shoot this thing.